And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. We have a full studio audience. I think we're going to pan to them here in a second. So, Brian, give them a heads up. Okay, go. Look at that. Look at that. Awesome crowd.
Yes, please.
And I believe all of them here at River Landing, or they're connected because their spouse is in the band. So that's pretty cool. As we hear our River Churns opened, we have part of the band playing for that. So awesome to have you all here today.
They can give sound effects all during the show.
They could.
On second thought.
On second thought, we probably don't need that, right?
Maybe not.
Yeah, because there might be a lot of groaning, so we better not do that. But Joyce Guffey, she's the bird in the band, so she could have played that for us live today. So we should have thought of that. So maybe next time. Hope everybody enjoyed the picture of the day. That was a husband simmering, cooking. So we wouldn't advise that. It just was a very interesting picture we thought we'd share.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have a public service announcement.
You do? Okay.
Yes, very important. Some of us may not know it, but there are meth labs everywhere. And it's really important to be able to spot a meth lab. Okay? And so this is a public service announcement. We want everyone to know in case there could be one next door. You just never know.
Absolutely.
And so to make sure that everyone can spot a meth lab, we had this little help here. Brian, if you'll patch me through to the...
Okay.
Patch me through. Okay, so to start with, this is a yellow lab. Everyone knows that. Okay. Then we have, if I can make sure my thing is on here, a black lab. See, I'll get a good idea there. Then we have a chocolate lab. Okay.
Aww.
And now this is the meth lab. If you see one of these anywhere, please call Sheriff Honeycakes and let him know.
We better give him a heads up because I think I've seen a dog like that here.
Yes.
So we better give him the heads up.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the public service announcement.
Yes.
Here today, he actually has a week off, so we're hoping he's having a good time. He's at the beach with his family, and hopefully he's having a great time.
And you're at the funny desk.
I am, but I don't know that will help. But I do like being at a desk because, look, you can put stuff out. Like, I don't have to hold all this stuff. So this is pretty cool. He's got it going on.
I noticed you have a couple of beers on your desk. Is that traditional?
Well, this will be part of, we'll get to this. It's part of our trivia today.
I see. Okay.
But first, obviously, Ken's the co-host today, and he's in the funny chair now, so we're good. We're all in our right spots. But our special guest today really will be Rachel Dunn and the band members. So they're going to be on at the end of our show. We're going to end with the best part. So we thought we better get through our stuff, and then we'll end with the good stuff.
We are the warm-up band.
We are.
Sort of.
We are, absolutely. So.
Yep. And when you go to a concert, you don't ever go for the warm-up band. You go for the real band.
You go for the real stuff. Right.
Coming up.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So trivia question today. This question is from Michelle.
Michelle?
Yes. Last week was Brian, so now it's Michelle. So we'll have to go back to John Hoyt's questions next week. So, okay. Going to give you the number to call. 336-389-4103. That's Michelle's number. I know everybody has it already on speed dial, but just in case. And the prize today is very different. It is a Budweiser beer Stein, and it's a holiday edition, 2013. Well, I will, Brian. Well, thank you. Let's hold this up for everybody to take a look at it. Hopefully I don't break it in the process. But it is a new Stein that was donated to us, and that's pretty cool. Can you zoom in, Brian? Okay.
You get those at Stein Mart, don't you?
No,
Oh, come on, come on.
I don't think so. And did you see our local Stein Mart is going out of business?
And that's
They
how
all are.
that's how we got that one.
Okay, this did not come from Stein Mart, but it's pretty cool, pretty cool. And of course, with the Budweiser Stein, you have to get 2 beers, 2 Budweiser beers. And Brian's hoping he could hide one of the beers with whoever the winner is, so he said it just depends on who's the winner. Right, Brian? You can't go to church with him. He will not hide beers on you if you go to church with him. So he's got standards.
I've heard that if you try to pour a different kind of beer into a Budweiser Stein, it turns to water.
Okay.
Only Budweiser in a Budweiser Stein.
Okay. Well, we've given him a head start then. We have 2 ready for him. I bet you could fit, well, you might be able to fit 2 in there, maybe a beer and a half.
Okay.
So the question today, it's related to this. When was the first Budweiser Holiday Stein made? When was the first Budweiser Holiday Stein made? And if Brian would have zoomed in really close, it's actually on the Stein. So hopefully he didn't get that close to it. But, the Stein even comes with papers, like it's authentic. So, so this is a real prize here. Yes. So, okay. See, we bring out the good prizes when Tom's not here. He doesn't know when we pull this stuff out, so.
We were going to include a Clydesdale, I think, at one time and decided that we couldn't probably pull that off.
Right.
Yeah.
It kind of was against our pet policy, so we went against it. Okay.
They're hardly ever housebroken.
Very true.
It's my experience.
Very true. Yeah. Yes. So Michelle's phone is not rung yet, so I'm going to give the number one more time just in case. 336-389-4103. And if you have to Google it, that's okay too, because we Googled it this morning and it popped right up, so I know you can find the answer to it. So, okay. Are we good, Ken?
I'm ready.
Okay. So now we're going to go into the virus updates that we do. We'll get that part out of the way, and then we'll move on to some better updates. So we have, since last week, we had one show last week, so these are the numbers since then. We have gone up 10,060 positive cases. We have also had 114 more deaths, unfortunately. But we've done 170,000 more tests as well. So we do almost 24,000 plus a day of testing. So that's pretty incredible that we can do that many. But our hospitalizations, that's also gone up. So we've seen in us, as our state, we have had some spikes. So I have not heard specifically why that might be. Colleges have been back in session for a while. Schools have been back in session, so I'm not sure where that spike is coming from. But so just another reason to keep really following the 3 W's, wearing your mask, washing your hands, the social distancing, all of that is more important than ever because we still are seeing rise in cases. For Forsyth County, we've had an additional 235 cases. Guilford, an additional 442, which is a pretty big jump for us. Durham, 175 since last week. Wake, an additional 701. Mecklenburg, an additional 697. So we've had some big jumps in the counties that we like to take a look at here. So just want to give you all those updates. Okay, let's move on from there. I think everybody knows we do Tuesday healthcare testing of our staff members, that we have to do that to test for the virus. And this was yesterday that we did that. We should have the results sometime tonight or tomorrow. We are hoping and praying, of course, that come back with no positives. We want all negative tests. That would mean we would have gone 4 weeks straight with no positives. So that's our goal, is to reach that 4-week mark. That hopefully will trigger us to come off the COVID list that we've talked about on this show. So that's why we really are hoping and praying this week that we can go 4 straight weeks of that. What that also means for us is that we can proceed more with visitation for healthcare, for our healthcare folks, which we know right now, and being in healthcare is very difficult for that resident and for their spouses. To not be able to see them, touch them, it's a really hard thing right now, and we know that. But there's just regulations that we have to follow, unfortunately, and because we did have the outbreak, it really stopped some of what we could do in the way of visitation. So if we can get through the 4 weeks with no more positives, we can start rolling out some of our plans. So the healthcare team is getting ready to present some of those. They're getting really close on that, and like I said, just waiting for the testing to come back this week. But once we get the green light, we'll be able to do some outdoor visitations. We actually have Bloom has created some visitation stations for us, because even though we'll be able to have some visitation, it still isn't just free visitation like it used to be. So it's still a controlled environment. The state and federal regulations still tell us how a visitation can happen, all those good things. So it's not just a free-flowing visit like it used to be. We're just not in those times yet. But the visitation stations will give a really good option for folks to do that. We know that with weather getting cooler, visiting outside, we're not going to be able to do that for a whole lot longer. Mm-hmm. So then also coming up with approved areas that we could do inside visitations. So we have to come up with plans. We submit our plans. They get approved, all those good things. So I wish I could say it's as easy as we just decide this is how we're doing it, but they give us the guidelines of how we can do it and then approve our plans for that. So we're in the process of that. So hopefully we can announce some good news next week for our healthcare residents. When we are able to open up for visitation, it will, like I said, controlled. So that means there'll be appointments that family members have to make and things like that. So it's just all a little bit different right now, but just having something would be a huge improvement. Mm-hmm. It's been almost 7 months, so it's a long time. It's a long time.
Do you know if that's going to include the beauty shop opening? Do we know that yet?
We don't. That's kind of a different.
Not to throw any shade at family visits, but some of our residents would rather see their beautician than their family member. Well, after 7 months.
That could be true. Yeah. That could be true. We have had actually a few of our healthcare staff members that are also licensed beauticians.
Yes.
So we have actually had some services provided from our own team members to residents in the way of
nice.
beauty
That's
services.
Very nice.
So I think that's been very helpful too. But we all like our own beautician, and I get that. So I mean, folks are missing their regulars.
Yeah.
But at least something is a little bit better than nothing right now. We're all just kind of taking what we can get. Yep. So hopefully we'll have some more positive news to share next week, and hopefully tomorrow we can post that we have negative tests. Mm-hmm. So that would be a positive as well and help us head in the right direction.
So a negative is a positive, and that's the
in this case it would be, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
In physics that's usually not true.
That's true. That's true. Yep, absolutely. Okay, some exciting things this week. We've had the river games going on. So
right outside our door.
Yes, I was going to say we have a lot of folks right outside right now playing bocce.
Yep.
So that's exciting. We have the men playing today, I believe.
Was that bocce? I thought they were bowling. But
well, it's a form of bowling, I guess.
Well, I thought they had left their bowling ball in the dryer too long. Shrunk down.
It shrunk.
Big. Yeah.
So we've had Wii bowling, walking events, aquatic events, cross-country walk, pickleball, men's bocce today. Tomorrow we have billiards and women's bocce, so that will be exciting as well. And Friday's a big day. We have corn toss and basketball shootout.
All right.
So that's exciting. And some of the events we do have space where spectators can come. You just want to sign up for those events in the Wellness Center. We have an activity book down there to sign up for. So we've had to be careful with numbers, of course, right now with 25 inside and 50 outside. So we've been following that, but had a great week. And also, I believe Whitney's been putting up a recap every night at 8:30. If you tune into 1390, you can see some of the things that have gone on. We did have a couple incidents during the river games where we've had a couple falls. I mean, that happens sometimes. One gentleman, I'm not sure, but I heard that maybe he didn't fall, but Brian Stroud ran him over in the golf cart. I did hear that might be why he fell.
Yeah.
But I did confirm with the person, and he's in the audience today, I did confirm with the person that was not true. So we want to dispel that rumor. That is not what happened.
Okay.
But that is first how it came out to me.
What really happened was Brian ran over himself in the golf cart. Is that right?
Oh, so the 2 falls we did have, everybody is okay. So that's the best part of it. So.
I heard we were going to have a slam dunk contest, but they decided not to do it because someone would have to get up on a ladder and clean the rim every time. So that's just way too much trouble.
Absolutely, that's too much. Oh. Yesterday, we had High Point University did a presentation on 1390. If you watched that, you probably have heard we're looking for 68 volunteers this year to help with the pharmacy students. So if you have not been part of that, High Point University has a pharmacy program, and they partner a pharmacy student with one of our residents, and usually that lasts for several semesters to be able to work with that person. And you meet 2 or 3 times a semester, so it's not too much. And of course, this year with the pandemic, it's not meeting in person, it's doing everything pretty much over the phone and other ways of doing that, Skyping, Zoom, all kinds of options. But if you're interested in that, the form has gone out. Make sure you turn it in to Brian by next week. Right, Brian? Okay. The 30th.
Oh, time.
Okay. Well, you have plenty of time. Plenty of time. But you don't want to wait because the 68 spots, they're going to fill up really quick. So we already have several already full. So go ahead, turn in your name so you're guaranteed a person. So, but that's a great program. We've had so many positives from that. It's a good partnership. Okay, let's see. October Mingles. So we're having some socials, Ken. Mm-hmm. Did you hear anything about this?
No, I can't wait to hear. I'm a mingling kind of guy.
I know you are, so that's why I thought you might be part of this. So we tried a couple months ago to set up some mingles where folks filled out a sheet and said, yes, I'm comfortable with it and I'd like to be part of this. And then we would invite people to different groups. We'd keep the groups to the numbers that we're allowed to have. And we got a little nervous with it, so we postponed it for a little bit. And now we're ready to try it again. So I believe information went out again last night about the Mingles, and it will be an invitation thing. So we will be creating different groups, and the whole goal is to get folks to meet new folks too. It's been very hard for new residents moving into the community this year when we really can't socialize. The normal things that we do, the events that we have, we just haven't been able to do those. So I think it makes it very hard for people to get to know each other. So we're going to figure out safe ways to do that. So be looking for that information so you can turn that in and let us know if you're comfortable with it. And we understand there's folks still not comfortable with that. So this is something that you don't have to do, but just know that option's out there if you do feel comfortable with that. And we'll send you an invitation of when your mingle is and where it's at. So.
Yeah. Don't Google mingles.com. I have no idea what you might get. Just do regular sign up. I think
just regular sign up. Yeah. Yes. Don't go to Google. Don't type in Mingles. Oh. Okay. Need to give a shout out for the Furl program. Okay. Do we remember what that stands for, Ken?
It's the free-flowing unicycle. I forgot.
Free University.
Free University. I think the last 2 letters are pretty self-explanatory. Run and lick.
River Landing. Oh, well, they have developed, I believe it's 5 sessions over the next several weeks where they are going to be interviewing right here, up here on the stage, interviewing members of the leadership team here. And they're going to talk about, personal things as well as professional. So I think it should be pretty interesting, nice. And the Furl program is putting this on for us. So
nice.
Watch your calendar.
They have some great classes too.
They do. Yep. They do. Absolutely. So just want to put a plug in for them today. Employee Appreciation Fund, that's the fund that Lois Edwards is heading up this year as part of the resident council. That's her committee that she's running. So I believe information's gone out about that, just as a reminder. That's where residents are so generous, and they give money to this fund in lieu of tips throughout the year. They give money to this fund, and then they give Christmas gifts to our staff members, just right before Christmas typically. So it's pretty cool to see that. But that information's gone out as well, and we'll have Lois come on our show in November and just talk a little bit more about that as well.
Very nice.
One last thing, I have a safety note from Homer.
Is
I
this
believe the
about
gentleman,
Is this
Homer,
about meth labs?
It's not. It's not. He didn't know about that.
Okay.
So if he knew about that, I'm sure there would have been a note about it. So walking on campus, he would really like to stress to stay in designated areas. So the reason I say designated areas, you may not want to walk out in the woods or walk in areas that really are not manicured to be walking in. We had a gentleman walking his pet today and fell behind the golf maintenance building back out in the wooded area. So you just would want to make sure you're staying more on the campus side and staying with the sidewalks and anywhere that's been manicured out here, right. I would say. That's the best way to put it. So that I thought was a good safety tip for the day, that we all need to watch things like that and be careful where we're at. Okay, Ken, we have some questions, and today I want you to answer them.
Me? Okay, I'll try.
You know, this could be risky.
I'll try.
I'm not sure if we should do this now.
I'll give
Okay.
it my best shot. You know I'll give it my best shot.
Okay. Here's the first one. Will River Landing provide transportation for voting in November?
We're voting?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Like probably people are doing mail-in ballots, we can take them to the post office. Is that the idea?
No.
To mail their ballot? Oh, then I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
So
0-1.
it's hard to say at this point, but we did mention this on the show a couple weeks ago, that I don't want you to plan on the transportation at this point, because we just don't know how we're going to be a month from now. It's hard to say. But I don't want folks to rely on that when I can't give you a 100% definite answer on that at this point. So it just depends if we could safely do that and where we're at. As a state, we kind of change routinely here, it seems like. So we just need to see where we're at. We have not been providing group transportation. I know everybody's aware of that. We haven't been going out to crowded areas, any of those kind of things. We've been providing medical transportation. But even when we do that, we do 1 or 2 people in a vehicle. We're very careful with that. So we have not done any group transportation. So let's just see where we're at as we get closer. But for right now, I just don't want to promise that, or you plan on that. Okay, let's try this one.
You can absentee ballot.
You
That's
can.
an alternative.
You can.
And
And
also
we've been
early
pushing that.
voting. I have found that early voting sites are much less crowded than on election day. So that's another alternative.
That's true. Absolutely. Okay, let's try this one.
Okay.
This one's a golf course one, so you might be able to answer this.
I'm sure I do.
Okay. Is there funding in Scooter's budget for golf cart path repairs this year?
Is there a fun thing? Is that what
No
you said?
funding?
Funding. Oh, like money.
Like money.
Money. Is there money to repair the golf cart paths?
Right.
Sure. Why not?
I need to be careful with these questions. So I think most of you know our budget here runs from October 1st to the end of September. So we just finished up this last budget year. So we're in the new budget year. And we did put funding in this year. We put monies aside to start the cart path repairs. So we're going to do it in phases. It's a large project, and it's fairly expensive. It's not a cheap project.
Right.
So we're doing it in phases, starting with the worst areas first and going from there. So we budgeted for phase 1 this year to be able to repair and replace some of the cart paths. So.
And we looked at golf cart hover carts, the kind that hover and don't have wheels, and then you don't have to worry about the surface.
Oh.
It just glides, but that was a little expensive.
Okay, is there such a thing? You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, we got to move on. We got to move on. Okay, last question.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
over 2.
Yeah, you're not doing good. Are there any exceptions to the number of visitors at one time for independent living? You know, right now we have a limit of 2. Is there any exceptions for that?
The number of visitors. I'm going to say yes, but I don't know what they are.
Okay, so the answer is no. No. So at this time, because I will tell you, I get asked multiple times a week, can I have 3 or 4? And at this point, we need to stick with our 2-person limit. So that's 2 per household at any one time. Right now, and part of it is when folks come in, we have to screen them and temp check them. So the more people that are in a vehicle as well, it takes that much more time. So for right now, we want to be able to get through as many visitors as we can so all of our residents can enjoy that opportunity. So for right now, we're going to stick with the number 2, but be watching. I mean, we announced last week that we're looking at maybe in the near future, it wouldn't just be family members, it could be friends as well. So be watching for changes coming, but at this point, we are sticking to our 2-person limit.
I was
Okay?
thinking the exception could be if additional family members would come help us repair the golf cart paths. Yeah,
I could see your thinking.
yeah. You can? Really?
No, I'm just being nice. Yeah.
Just being nice.
Just being nice, yeah. Okay, so
two.
that's it for questions, right?
Okay.
Ken?
Oh, I actually have some questions for you. When
Okay.
is a retiree's bedtime?
Are we going to do this, Ken?
3 hours after he falls asleep on the couch. Okay, how
Okay.
many retirees does it take to change a light bulb?
Ooh,
1, but it takes all day. What's the biggest gripe of retirees?
I don't know.
There's not enough time to get everything done.
Ah,
Yep. Among retirees, what is considered formal attire? Your shoes are tied. What's the biggest advantage of going back to school, furl, as a retiree? No, you can cut class and no one calls your parents.
true.
Yep.
Those are pretty good questions.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Y'all did very well.
So,
Answering them
very
better
good.
than I did.
Very good.
Sadly.
Okay, let's see. Birthday time. Right?
Birthdays. Yes,
We have a
birthdays.
lot of birthdays since we weren't on since last week. So let's see. Monday, we had Perky Armstrong. Tuesday, Blucher Taylor, Maury Simpson, Barbara Smith, and Jerry Hershey. And today, we have Helen McCulley and Frank Hall. Thursday, we have Carol LeBlanc. Friday, we have Grace Brame, Shirley Bear, Nancy Udy Schroer, and Marilyn Smith. Saturday, we have Joyce Seiler and Peg Warren. And Sunday, we have Lois Davidheiser. So that gets us through the weekend. And then staff birthdays today, we have Tiffany Martin in HR, Deanna Daniels in dining, Allison Rue in dining, Jamie Prater in nursing. Friday, we have Emily Moore in nursing and Tim Morse in maintenance. A lot of you know him with his technical support. So wish him a happy birthday. That's Friday. Saturday, we have Jose Cruz. A lot of you know him as well in maintenance. Carla Cox in nursing. Sunday, we have Sandy Johnson in dining and Sunette Hunt in nursing. So
Happy
lots of
birthday.
birthdays. Yes, yes. Okay, now we're down to trivia. Let's see
Can't
if we
wait.
have a winner. Oh, and we do? Okay. So the question today was from Michelle, and the winner gets this wonderful 2013 holiday Budweiser Stein and a couple beers. And depending, I don't know if this person goes to Brian's church, so he might be able to hide them.
Okay.
I'm not sure, so we'll see here. Okay, he doesn't, it's confirmed, he does not go to church with them, so he will be hiding one of them. Okay, the question, when was the first Budweiser Holiday Stein made? The answer is
Drum roll.
1980. Yes,
1980.
yes, 1980. And the winner today is Lou Insinius. So congratulations, Lou. So this Stein will be coming your way. And just as a reminder, there is 2 beers.
2 beers. If it's 1.5, don't drink the half.
Toss it out.
Yeah.
Yep. But it wouldn't surprise me if Brian might hide it somewhere. So you'll have to look around your area. I'm not sure. So, okay, River Churns next week is only going to be on Thursday. So just one time next week. And we like to end with the joke of the day.
Joke of the day, yeah. And then we're going to have the band, right?
And then we're going to have the best part.
Okay, so I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can.
Okay, I'm ready.
So a man was leaving a convenience store with his morning coffee when he noticed a most unusual funeral procession approaching the nearby cemetery. A black hearse was followed by a second black hearse about 50 feet behind the first one. Well, behind the second hearse was a solitary man walking his dog on a leash. And behind him, a short distance back, were about 50 men in single file line following along. Okay, so the man is just overwhelmed by curiosity, and so he respectfully approaches the man walking the dog behind the hearse and says, "I'm sorry for your loss, and maybe this is a bad time to disturb you, but I have never seen a funeral procession like this. Whose funeral is this?" "It's my wife's," answered the man. "What happened to her?" the first man said. "Well, she was yelling at me, and my dog attacked her and killed her." Oh my. "Well, who is in the second hearse?" the guy said. "It's my mother-in-law. She was trying to help my wife when the dog turned on her too." There was a moment of quietness, and the first man said, "Can I borrow your dog?"
Oh,
And
That's bad.
The man said, "Get in line."
oh my gosh.
Isn't that awful? Thankfully, the band will redeem it.
Absolutely. Okay, so now we've come to the best part. So we're going to bring up Rachel Dunn and her band members, and she'll share some instruments and some history of the band and all that good stuff. So give them a few seconds to go ahead. They're going to get the area set up here. So just give a few minutes.
Yay, band.
They are fastly trying to set up here, so we're getting there.
And I'm going to have to go talk to the sheriff over here and let him know about meth labs.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
You're going to have to tell them what to be looking for.
He wasn't in here for the meth lab
No,
thing,
you're
so.
going to have to show them the picture.
Yep.
So,
Good afternoon. The reason we're here was a question that was asked me. They said, "A River Landing band, will do y'all march?" And I told Lisa, I said, "I think it's time for us to talk about the band." The Presbyterian Home Band began in 1962 at the Presbyterian Home in High Point. Well, that closed, and all those people moved over here to River Landing, and of course the band instruments came with them. And now we don't use that real long name. We were the Presbyterian Home Band at River Landing at Sandy Ridge. Now we just go by the River Landing Band at Sandy Ridge. In normal times, we play throughout the state to represent us. We only go an hour and 30 minutes away. We practice for 1 hour on Mondays at 1:30, and we take the summer off and begin practice in mid-August. Of course, our plans change, and they have changed now. When I was planning this together, I thought, well, I will just have a few instruments. Had I known, I could have had a whole lot more instruments to show. And we have 5 band members that are in the audience that they could certainly have been up here to show their instruments too. We have Jackie that plays the tambourine. We have Sharon that plays the saw blades and the tongue drum. We have Dennis that plays the cheese box. We have Susie that plays a look-alike clarinet. And we have Kathy that plays a French horn made from a vacuum cleaner. Of course, we have 30 people in our band, and we have to keep it at that because when we do travel, they usually feed us, and we cannot have more than just us. We have 30 players. We have the director, that's me. We have a bus driver, and we have a wonderful accompanist, Lois Ann Carter, who lives in Kernersville, and she is an excellent part of our band. We have substitutes who come and listen to practice, and they so often get to play if a player is absent. So we just love to get together, and we just can't wait until we can practice again. We want to highlight some of our instruments today. First, let's talk about the bass drum. Here we have Clyde. Clyde is known to be in the part that's called the percussion section. And he gives us the beat. Give us the beat, Clyde. And we're off and running. That's Clyde and the big bass drum. Then we have a gut bucket. The gut bucket is not a thing but a tub and a string and a plank and a wonderful player, Bill. And he can play that drum, that gut bucket, rather, not drum. And you see, as he hits it, listen. It makes different sounds. So that is Bill. He is also our vocalist. Then we have bottles, green bottles. Those bottles are filled with different levels of water, and she can play a scale. Connie can play the scale, and right now she's going to play Do, Re, Mi from The Sound of Music. Listen carefully. Those are it's not exactly in tune, but you wouldn't expect it to be either, would you? Then we have over here, we have the trowels. Linda plays the trowels. Can you imagine the people in High Point going to all of the hardware stores to find trowels of different sizes because they would make different sounds? My husband says not only does she play them well, she has to hit moving targets. So Linda, give us a little bit of Oh Susanna. Thank you, Linda. Good. Now we have a trumpet. Joyce. It's made from a screen wire hinge. And Joyce is going to play something that River Churns plays every time they make the air. When they come on, they play a little ditty that is nothing could be finer than to be in River Landing in the morning. And they play that every time when they sign on. So you can imagine Joyce is going to play that little ditty on her trumpet. Hit it, girl. You got it, didn't you? Nice. There we go. Now Linda in the front here, she's going to move a little bit over with her trowels. They're called Xylopipes. We have 6 Xylopipes in the band, and they were put together by Dr. Neil Sheffield, who is a resident. He took copper tubing, cut the pieces to where they were exactly the size to make a scale. They're played with a hammer. And we have 6 of those, and they play the melody. So Linda is going to play a little bit of Oh Susanna. that's great. And so that holds it all together. Of course, we have to have a keyboard instrument, and that piano really pulls us all together. Then we have always a surprise. We don't introduce this one until towards the end, is our bird. Joyce, stand up with your bird. This bird is nothing but a blue plastic bottle with a quill in the top, and it is very, very difficult to play. But she's going to play that same little tune that ties us into the River Churns today. Play it, Joyce. That was Nothing Could Be Finer. Could you hear it?
Yes.
There we go. Then, last but not least, are some bells. These bells it was told to me that they were found on the back porch of a home in High Point. And somebody had the forethought to put them together and put them on that frame, the same frame, early time with for our band. And Wiz is going to play a piece called Ballin' the Jack, which comes from an old railroad tune called Ballin' the Jack. Now, he has been balling himself today because he has been playing bocce ball, and he was on a team, and I think he did very well with his partner. And so he has been a busy, busy man. Can you give us Ballin' the Jack? Thank you, Wiz. Lisa and I talked several months ago, and I said, we are just having withdrawal. We are a family of people that we enjoy each other, and we have such a good time together. But we are really having withdrawals because we can't get together and play. You notice that I've got you 6 feet apart, and I limited it to just these few people, and I could have had more. And Lisa said, Rachel, there's something I would like for you to do. And I said, what? She said, if you could practice, could you do the Christmas program that you did last year? I said, well, Lisa, I put on that little red nose and did that. She said that was the funny part, but the other part of your Christmas program that y'all presented was so outstanding. We have so many people that did not see it because of the way it had to be publicized, because they couldn't see it on the TV. And we have so many new people that think the band might march. No. And she said, I'd like that program to be presented just for our community. So if Lisa and the things change, we are now in phase 3. If things change to where the band could get together and practice a couple, maybe 2-3 times, we could present a program at Christmas time, the Christmas program that we did last year. So we hope that will come to pass because we are so anxious to get together and be able to practice and to present that program. So that's all going to depend on what happens next. I hope that some of you are interested in coming to be a member of our band. We have substitutes who come and sit in the audience. And when we have a player that's out, if it's an instrument that I think they could play, I invite them to come on and play. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the band family, you just need to contact me. I'm Rachel Dunn, and I'm not hard to find. Lisa, thank you for giving us this opportunity to show our little bells and whistles and birds and tubs and bottles and everything. And so I will sign up for us. Goodbye.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, everyone that's been here today, taking the time to do this. And we miss as well that you all can't get together like that. So we're hoping and praying, right, Rachel, that we can get to a point that we can allow more than more than the 25 people because your band is closer to the 30. So we got to get to that point. So our goal, we're hoping for a Christmas concert. So that we all need goals here, and that I think that's a good one to have. So absolutely. Well, thank you all for performing today and showing off your instruments. And Rachel, thank you for everything. You're an amazing leader. I've seen you for the last several years now, and you've just been really great to watch, and you've brought a great group together, and it's amazing what you do. So thank you.
And I think they saved the show.
I think they did too. This is the best part. So probably the best show. So absolutely. Well, everyone have a great week and a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.